Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ken, also known as MrKenDenis. So in today's video, we are going to be comparing the Benefit POREfessional Pearl Primer against the original POREfessional. Okay, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys click on the subscribe button down below and also that bell so you get notified when I have a new video up. So without further ado, let's get into this comparison. So if you guys are here for a quick answer, this one has a slightly luminous finish, this one has more of a matte finish. They both fill in the pores. I honestly do not see much of a difference on my skin, but if you guys want to know my reasoning and my experiences with this product, definitely keep on watching. Okay, so let's talk about my skin. So I am 28 years old, obviously male, have enlarged pores from when I had acne when I was a kid, teenager, and yeah, it's just kind of left my pores enlarged, and I have textural issues as well. In particular here, I don't hold primers to a high standard around here because facial hair, there's nothing you can do about it unless you just have freshly shaven skin. Can't do anything about that. I do have this fine line on my forehead that does annoy me with certain foundations, and I do rely heavily on a good pore filling silicone based type primer to help even it out and make it less apparent. Now, long-time fan of the Benefit POREfessional, the original version, which is why when they came out with the Pearl version, I wanted to try it out, but unfortunately I didn't have money at the time. I just got really lucky. I got some of these in PR, so I thought I would do a side-by-side comparison. So going back a little bit to the skin, I do have normal skin, I would say. Lately I've been a little bit oilier than usual. I think it's because the weather's heating up here in Australia. My T-zone's a little bit oilier. Around the cheeks a little bit oily as well. So normally I find primers that are silicone based that have more of a matte finish is what I wanted. I know I'm trying out the Pearl primer that has a bit of a more luminous, that has a bit more of a luminous finish, but yeah, I thought I would give it a try anyway on my skin type. In terms of what I look for, so again, silicone based primer, my main goal is to fill in these enlarged pores and the makeup lasting a little bit longer. So without further ado, let's get into the demonstration. Okay, so we're starting off with a bare face, so all I've got really is just moisturizer. So we're going to start off with the primers. I'm just going to be using the Pearl one, which is the pink one on this side of my face, and I'm going to be using the original formulation on this side of my face. So when it comes to application, I always just use my fingers, and regardless of the formula, how I've been wearing this primer is I basically put a lot on and then I start massaging it in. And I find the best way to conceal my pores, my fine lines, is to really massage it in different directions. I think a lot of people, when they use this primer, they just slap it on like that and then just leave it at that. This is, I find in my experience at least, that you really need to work it into the skin. You really need to take the time to massage it in different directions. I feel that when you put it on like that, it just fills the pores in that direction, and then when you look at your pores in other directions, like the light hitting it in different directions, you'll start to see the pores. So I always find working it in like this has definitely really helped covering up and concealing those pores. I don't know if you guys can see on camera, but this product definitely has a slight hint of pink to the skin. It's very, very minimal. I don't think you can really notice it. It's only when you do side by side like this that you can really see it. There is a bit of luminosity to the skin as well, I find, but in terms of the texture, it does feel a little bit tacky, ever so slightly. So now we're going to move on to the original formulation. Now I did make sure that these are both new bottles or new tubes, just to keep it fair, because sometimes, you know, formulas do change, especially if you've had your tube for like a year and a half, like my old one, and I pretty much do the same. I have tried out a lot of primers out in the market, and I do have to say, for a silicone pore filling primer, Benefit POREfessional is definitely at the top of my list, which is why I really wanted to do this comparison between the Pearl one and this one. And honestly, I find the formula is very, very similar. The only difference really, I don't know if you guys can probably tell now, but this one has a slight luminous finish, whereas this one has more of a matte finish. So again, side by side, this is what they look like. Again, a very, very slight luminous finish on this side, whereas this one's definitely got more of a matte finish. In terms of how they feel on the skin, I do have to say there is a bit of a tack, very, very subtle tackiness on the Pearl side, whereas the original one is just, it's just matte. I don't really feel it. It feels a little almost powdery, to be honest. But yeah, that's what they look like. So I'm just going to do the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to show you guys what my base looks like. Right, so the rest of the makeup is on. So I have pretty much tried this primer out with every foundation I have in my collection, and I'm always satisfied with how my skin looks in terms of like pores and skin texture. So I did a 3-day test pretty much with the Pearl Primer. I did try and do 4, but day 3 was just horrible. The foundation that I used just oxidized like hell, and it was just so bad. I had to take it off before I went to work. So first day I used the primer in combination with the Hello Happy foundation. So this is a really good foundation. I thought I would start with Benefit and see how well their products interact with each other. Works really well. So I used a buffing type brush for this one and it worked fine. Day 2 I used a sponge, and then I used the Studio Fix fluid, and that worked really well as well. On day 3, not gonna name the foundation because I just threw it anyway, not here to shame it. But on day 4 I used the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, and this one also worked really well. Now, I don't know if this is a silicone based foundation, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is a little bit more fluidy compared to the first 2 that I showed you, so I'm not sure if it's a water based foundation, but anyway, it worked really well on the skin as well. Okay, now let's move on to the comparison. Honestly, I feel like they are pretty much the same formula. The only difference is this one's a little bit more on the pinky side and definitely has a bit of a luminosity to the skin. In terms of how it affects the overall finish of the foundation, I honestly feel it's very minimal. I thought when I first got this it was going to be kind of like a metallic-y finish on the skin, but honestly I didn't really see much of a difference. Now, as you guys saw in my makeup routine, I basically pack on powder on my skin. I actually press it on, so that could also be a factor why I didn't really see so much luminosity in this one. And now when I wore my makeup with this, I did obviously see that my foundation broke down a little bit faster compared to this, but I would say it's very marginal. Like, I just had a little bit more dewiness, a shine a little bit quicker than normal. Now, I do have to say, I feel like if you have slightly drier skin than myself, this might give you a little bit more luminosity, and if you don't powder as much as I do, you might see a bit more of that luminosity peeking through the foundation. But yeah, I don't know, just for me, I just didn't really see it. Okay, so out of the 2 primers, which one would I repurchase? Personally, for what I like my makeup to look like and you know how I do it, I pretty much just choose this one. I just find that it just does everything that I need. I think the luminosity that this provides is unnecessary for my makeup routine, and like I said, I don't really see it because of how much powder I apply on my skin. But overall, both primers are really good. Now, I will still continue to use this and probably use this all up. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, tell me down in the comment box down below which one you guys prefer, if you guys have tried out both. If you guys have any other alternatives to primers like this, definitely let me know. I love trying out different base products, especially silicone based ones, because they tend to fill in my pores a little better. But yeah, if you guys would like to catch more of me, definitely head over to my Instagram. I do Instagram stories. I pretty much do them almost every day if you guys are interested in knowing who I am and seeing more posts from me and stuff like that. But yeah, that's enough for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh yeah, don't forget to thumbs up the video.